Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today we're going to be talking about Spinal Tap II. The end continues. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros. So, this right here is the sequel to This is Spiral Tap. A good 41 years later. Wow, that is a long ass time. Okay. So this is the original. This is Spinal Tap. What this is a mockumentary, which is basically a fake documentary or like a documentary that takes place in a fictional universe about like this band called Spinal Tap. And this movie, like a lot of cult movies, it didn't do that great when it initially released, but like when it got to home media, or I guess in this case, VHS, that's when more people discovered it, and that's when it obtained its cult following. And the movie helped that the movie was like highly acclaimed. It's actually, according to his Wikipedia page, it was selected for preservation in the National Film Registry in like '02. And not only that, this movie basically says it effectively launched the mockumentary genre. So a lot of stuff that came out like after this, like this was like the starting point of that stuff. I guess like Bruno and like stuff like on TV, like to say The Office, mockumentaries like that, all started here. Now, apparently, it had it's responsible for the origin of the phrase "up to 11." So this is like where it, that originated from. So yeah, this is Spinal Tap. It's a highly acclaimed movie, has a big cult following, and those two things are obviously a good thing for the sequel, even though it's been a long ass time since the original. Although smartly, wisely, they re-released the first movie, not too long ago. I think it's in July, like a special little event, and I think I can use that. Let's see if it's even here. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, there we go. For July 4th. So it had like a little like special, like this one weekend, release where it made like $1 million. Which I mean, it's not like terrible considering it was only there for like 3 days. So really 2 days. I don't remember how long it was supposed to go, but it was very short. I remember that. So yeah, the fact that they did that, is wise because it makes people, remember the movie and they're like, oh wait, there's a new one. Okay. So sometimes it's a good thing to re-release like your predecessor before the new one comes out. That way the audience, gets caught up and like remembers shit. So yeah, the reputation of This is Spinal Tap, I will label that as a pro. Other pros I can think of. Okay. Where is it? Okay. Reviews for this movie are good. Not as good as, say, the other movies that have come out this weekend, like Demon Slayer and Downton Abbey and Long Walk. It's a bit of a step down compared to those, but 67%, that's not terrible. Although I'm pretty sure that's a step down from like the original, but I will check that. There we go. This is Spinal Tap. How did that do in reviews? 98%. Okay, bit of a step down there. 67%, that's not terrible. 85% audience score is not terrible either. That's decent. So, seems like the people who are watching this movie, they think it's like all right. Nothing spectacular. They're like, that was good. And that's about it. I mean, it's better than calling it mid or calling it shit. So, yeah, so reviews are decent. Audience reaction is also decent. So, I guess I'll label that as a pro. Um, I guess there's no direct competition for this, really. I mean, it's kind of on its own out there. It doesn't really have anything like that would like really like directly impact it. So I guess that's a pro too. Okay, cons. Out of all the movies that are coming out this weekend, this is getting drowned out the most. This is very much the one that's it's like a saying. It's on the tip of my tongue. Where you have like a bunch of movies that come out like falling through the cracks. Like when you have a lot of movies coming out during a weekend, there's a chance one or two of them might fall through the cracks, and I feel like this will absolutely be one of them because this weekend is all about Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is going crazy. It is making serious money. Down Abbey grand finale is also doing decent. Even Long Walk is doing all right. This no, this did not stand. This does not stand a chance against those movies. So as a result, it's being seen as like oh like the one people forget about. So dealing with the other three movies, mainly Demon Slayer. Not to mention Conjuring Last Rites as well from like last week. Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of movies, a lot of serious, got some heavy hitters in there, and yeah, when you have like that many movies, yeah, there's a high chance you'll fall through the cracks and be forgotten about, and that's what's happened here pretty much. So I'll label that as a con, just high level of competition, especially for September. So yeah, that's con number one. Con number two, this is from Bleecker Street. And okay, looking at their track record, it's a lot of nothing here. A lot of these movies tend to be like in the single digits. There are some exceptions though. Logan Lucky, I don't think that did great. Like that, Eye in the Sky, Megan Levy. But for the most part, a lot of these movies are just kind of thrown out there to make some money, like maybe like a few $1 million, and then just go straight to PVOD. That's literally what happens with a lot of these movies, and that's probably going to be the case for this as well. So yeah, I don't think it doesn't really bode well for Spinal Tap 2, but that's just what's been going on. So yeah, I'll label that as a con. Bleecker Street's overall track record not being too great, not being too hot. And I guess there's also the fact that when you make a sequel, when there's like such a large gap of time between like the first movie and the sequel, like ideally if you're gonna do that, I mean, you gotta make sure people are really hyped for it. So like say last year with Beetlejuice, that was like what, a 36-year gap between the first and second movies. But Warner Brothers, they pushed Beetlejuice. They pushed that thing. They made that thing feel like a big old event, like a big time event. And guess what? It was treated like one. It ended up being a huge hit. Made over 100 million. Had 100 million opening weekend last year. So, and Top Gun Maverick, same thing. Paramount pushed and pushed for Maverick to be this big time movie, and my God, they sure got that when it made like 1.4, I think 1.4 billion. It made like 700 million domestically. So yeah, it can be done, but it does that result's not going to happen with all of these movies, all these like classic like 80s movies coming back. Like there are some that are just more well known than others. Like this is Spinal Tap, as popular as it is, as iconic as it is, its level of iconic status, it's nowhere near on the level, say, like a Beetlejuice or a Top Gun. Okay, even a Karate Kid or Ghostbusters or a lot of other movies. It's more low key compared to like a lot of them, a lot of big '80s movies. So, you know, I guess use like that nostalgia effect. That could be neither a pro or a con. Like it's very much a case by case basis. It's either a case of, absence makes the heart grow fonder or out of sight, out of mind. One of the two. So I'm not gonna label it as a real con, more of like a middle ground thing, with so much time being between like the original and the sequel. So I'm gonna put that as a middle ground thing. But I think that's it. So opening weekend, I don't even have like any like um there aren't any like early numbers I'm seeing. I don't even have preview numbers to work with, so I have no idea. How many theaters is this even in? I'm not sure. I'll find out. Um let me see. How many? Says in like 1900 theaters. Roughly. Okay, so 1900 theaters. Um Shoot. I guess I'm gonna have a range. 1 to 3 million seems right to me, so I'm gonna go with that. 1 to 3 million opening weekend, and its total might have long legs and might have ridiculously short legs. Depends on how much fan demand there is, because that can really determine how long or how short a movie can play. So I'm gonna say 7 million, above or below 7 million. I'm gonna go with that, and that's it. We got one more movie, an old movie. The Toy Story, the 30th anniversary re-release. So there's that, and then we're done for the weekend. So yay. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. Want to talk about want to watch any of the past prediction videos I made this year or any other years, you can go right ahead. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. My August recap will come out Sunday. My summer two-part recap will be about a week and a half from now. And my September recap will be in October, the second weekend of October. So stay tuned for all those. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I went over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. Never talked about Spinal Tap, I don't think. No. Never talked about Spinal Tap in any way. But if you want to watch that series, there's like 250 episodes. You want to binge it from beginning to end. I highly suggest you do that, so go do it. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.